Hey everybody, it's Doug here, Doug Mystic Eye on Board Game Geek, bringing you another episode of Eldritch Horror. Plowing along. I'm not going to say what episode this might be because it might be part of another big two-parter episode. Thinking I don't want 15 episodes of this, so I'm trying to condense them into some longer ones since that's the nature of the game, and maybe do two or three, well, usually no more than two because I really don't want them to go past an hour, turns at a time. Anyway, we're not going to waste a lot of time. We're in a decent place, and we're going to continue on. Now, one thing I did want to mention, apparently, and I haven't found this myself yet, but apparently it's in the rules for the expansion, that they recommend that you take on regular monsters before you take on epic monsters. Now, from the original rules, you could take them on in any order you want, really, but I stuck with that. I did not take that into consideration. I didn't even see it, to be honest with you, when I was reading through the expansion rules. But anyway, we're gonna keep going ahead with our action round, our action phase, starting with Diana Stanley as our lead investigator. Okay, so here's Diana Stanley. She is actually delayed in the Himalayas, so this is going to be a very, very quick action round for her. Let's go to the board and check it out. So you can see her up here is Diana Stanley right there. So all she gets to do this turn is go like that. So her encounter is going to be in the Himalayas, in the wilderness. It's not going to really amount to anything. It kind of bites, and it hurt her again, so she can't even go somewhere and rest. So hopefully she'll survive a round to be able to do that. But other than that, that's really all she can do, guys. So we'll move on then to our next investigator, which is Trish Scarborough. So Trish down in Antarctica has absolutely zero interest in dealing with this beastie. So and she can't do that much, really. But she is going to get out of there. Now, I could move her to Sydney, but Sydney's rife with monsters, and she needs to heal heal some sanity before she goes and takes on a bunch of baddies. She might even be able to take on the zombie horde. We'll have to see. But we also have the dragon that's up in Tokyo where Charlie Kane is that needs to be dealt with. So anyway, we're going to move her. Let's go right there. Right now, all we're going to do is take a move action to here. And I need to think. I think she can. I'm looking it up because I believe she can only rest in a city space. But I don't know if that's true or not. So I'm going to check and see if she can. She's going to just rest. Let's see. Rest action. As an action, an investigator recovers one. An investigator on a space containing a monster cannot perform an action. So that's the only restriction, I guess. So she is going to take a rest action, which will give her 1 health back. That puts her. Oh, she's already at maximum health, so just 1 sanity. But that's better than nothing because she definitely needs it. So she's back up to 3 for now. She's only got a 5, but I'd rather have her at 3 or 4 than 2 because things can go south for us pretty quickly if we're not careful. And she is heading toward a gate as well. But and by the way, she is going to make it for the encounter phase if I do things with Charlie right. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to now go to Lily Chen. Charlie would like to stay in Tokyo, but he's full of stuff. He's got lots of good stuff and things to deal with here, but he's still not the best combatant. I mean, he'd only be rolling 5 dice, and he's only got 3 health left out of 4. So he could take a run at this dragon, but that's all he'd be able to do this turn. So let's go to the board, and I'm going to show you what we are going to do with him. So here's Charlie. He's up here, and he's got the winged serpent. This is the thing that we have to kill to defeat our final mystery here. He's pretty tough. He's not as tough as some of the other ones, but he still has 6 points. So the odds of him taking a sanity, I mean, he's only got a will of 2. He doesn't have anything that can really help him with will specifically, so it would be a pretty bad fight for him to take this guy on. So what we're going to do is, and there's a clue here, so I thought about moving him here, but I really want him in a city for next turn so that he can actually acquire assets in that. So he's just going to move to Shanghai as his first action. And then in his second action, I'm going to the board and show you what we're going to do. Okay, his board actually. So it says, as an action, another investigator of your choice may immediately perform 1 additional action. So, yeah, actually that's not what I was thinking I'd do. Oh, I mean, it was Diana Stanley that has that spell, I believe. Hold on, just let me look at something real quick. Yeah, well, unfortunately, it is Diana Stanley who has that awesome spell called Plumb them, but she just stood up from being well, she stood up now. I guess she could perform. She didn't perform any action, so I guess that would allow her to perform an action. Wonder, do we do that during the action phase? Let me look at that spell here. What do you think, guys? Am I breaking the rules with that one? Let's see, it says plumb the void. Action. It's an action. So since she stood up as her entire action, and then Charlie went later, and I gave her an extra action, what do you think? I don't know. I mean, I think that's it seems reasonable, but delayed does say you can't do anything during that action phase other than stand up, if I believe. Looking up delayed again just to be sure. What do you think, guys? I don't want to cheat. It says when an investigator becomes delayed, his investigator token is laid on side. A delayed investigator cannot perform any actions. Okay. Instead of performing actions during the action phase. Okay, so that seems to cover all actions. So Charlie's not going to do that. He's going to go acquire assets. Why not? That's what he's supposed to be best at. Okay, so here we are. We're going to do that. He's got currently a 4 influence. He gets an additional +1 from his personal assistant, and he gets a reroll, and he's still got his fine suit. So he's got 5 dice and his fine suit. So if you roll 6s, they count as double. So here's his 5 dice. Let's see if he can actually do something worthwhile here. Okay, well, yeah, that's not too bad. That equates to 3, and he's got a reroll. So let's see if he can get 4. I don't know. Do we have anything? Nope, we don't. I don't think we have anything that's 4. We do. That would have been cool. But let's go take a look and see what he can do. Okay, well, here's the stuff. So the urban guide is the one that's the 4. So if you're on a city space, investigators on your space roll 1 additional die when resolving tests, except when revolving. Ooh, that's really good. 1 additional die always to resolve tests. Ooh, that's awesome. Or we got the lucky ring, which is a reroll of any die involving a test, or the intelligence report to 2 clues. So we got things. If he takes a loan, of course he's out of actions for this turn, so he won't be able to get rid of it the same turn. If he takes the loan, he can get the urban guide. That'll give him 5 points total because he's got 3 right now. He needs 4, but we don't have a 1. I don't know if it's worth it or not. The urban guide's pretty slick, but we can get that on another turn. I think right now he's going to do this. He's going to take the lucky ring, and we're going to put another card out, which will be the bodyguard. So we're going to take that lucky ring, and now I think we're going to give that to Trish, because Trish in combat with any rerolls is a good thing. Oops, I missed Lily Chen here in this city. She's still got 2 actions to take. So for her first action, she's going to take a rest, and that's going. She basically has 4 out of 6 health, and 3, 4, 5. Well, she's full on. Why not? Yeah, okay. So she's going to be full on her sanity and only 1 down on health. That's a good thing. So she is in a good place. And I had Charlie give her the lucky ring to replace the rabbit's foot that she lost earlier. And then for her second action, she's going to move to the space to encounter the white ship rumor that we have currently in play. Okay, well, Diana Stanley is in the Himalayas, so unfortunately all she can do there is get a generic, may not be a bad thing, but a generic wilderness encounter. So we're going to draw one of those off the top and see, this by the way, this is the encounter phase now, if you didn't notice. So we're going to move on. She is in a wilderness space. It's the second, the middle piece there. It says, you find an injured priest who needs to be carried over difficult terrain. Strength -1. If you pass, he reunites with his parish and he prays on your behalf, gain a blessed condition. Ho ho ho. Man, I want that. It says if you fail, you soon require assistance yourself, gaining back injury condition. We don't want that. Let's hope we can succeed. Her strength is not terrible. It's a 3. And she might even have something. I'm looking to see if she has something that can help her. No, not with this. Okay, so, yeah, so we're going to try and see if we can make a strength test. Okay, so we got 3 dice here. Let's see. All she has to do is make, oh, sorry, it's going to be 2 dice. She needs to make a strength test. And she can actually do a reroll if we need to. Let's see if she gets it. She did. She got a 5 and a 4, so she succeeded, which means we're going to give her a blessed condition. That actually is outstanding, and makes her even a better fighter against the darkness than we had before. So let's go get her condition. Man, we sure have been shuffling through blessed conditions, haven't we? Let's see. There's one. Blessed. There it is. That gets to go with Diana Stanley and her cards, her big giant stack of stuff she can do. It's going to help her cast spells better too. So, and that's going to end her encounter phase. Now we're going to move on to Trish Scarborough. Okay, here's Trish. Now, she is on an ocean space. So once again, generic ocean space. So we're going to draw out the generic cards. we're going to look at an ocean card and play that one. Let's see how that goes for her. Okay, we're at C, so it's the bottom one here. It says, you find a terrified stowaway aboard the ship. You attempt to confront him and coax him into telling you his story. Make an influence test. If you pass, he tells you about a horrifying beasts and unbelievable worlds. Gain 1 clue. Alright, another clue for Trish perhaps. Let's check that out. So she has a observation of, no, sorry, an influence of 3, so she's going to make a dice roll with 3. This is pretty good for her. I'm not going to complain about this at all, so let's just hope she makes it. She did. She rolled a 6, and she succeeded. So she's going to gain another random clue. I pulled a random clue from the pile, and she's got now 7 clues. That's pretty awesome. So when we need clues, we got them. Okay, that's going to end her encounter phase. Now we're going to move on to Lily Chen. Okay, so here's Lily. She's actually on this space right here, and that is the white ship. So it says what we have to do there. It states, let me make sure it focuses for you. It says, as an encounter, an investigator on Space 18 may attempt to find the white ship before departing for the Dreamlands. Make an observation test. It's a 2. It's not terrible, but not, I mean, could be worse. If he passes, he may spend a clue equal to half to solve. Oh, she's got no clues. Oh, darn it. Wow, that was a huge mistake on my part. I wasn't paying attention. She's got no clues. So she cannot succeed at that totally wasted encounter for her. What would we have done had I not moved her there? I would have left her in the city space. You know, let's just say, because, you know, it's hard to keep track of 4 characters like that. She could have done everything here. She moved, so she would have had an extra action. She did a rest action. I'm going to say the other action, just to make it reasonable, is, yeah, she will, she'll take a boat ticket since she's out there in the ocean, I guess, or near the ocean. That kind of sucked. But anyway, let's just draw a normal city encounter then. Because I certainly wouldn't have moved her there if she couldn't do it. She's got to get some clues, so we need to send Trish there. That's who needs to go. We'll get there quickly, I think, especially if I can get Diana Stanley to cast her spell on Trish. That'd be awesome. Okay. Here we go. So we're gonna do a generic city adventure here. It says the police report that people are being abducted by a monster dwelling in the sewer system. Wandering through the underground tunnels, you are suddenly attacked by a deep one. Strength. If you pass, you defeat the creature and rescue its hostages. Gain 1 random ally asset from the deck. If you fail, lose 1 health from the struggle. Okay. Well, let's do that. So we need to make a strength test. Well, at least that's one of her strong suits, right? Yeah, so she can't use her weapons, her enchanted blade. It's only for a combat encounter. This doesn't really say it's a combat encounter. It says it attacks you. I guess that would be considered combat, but it's not like fighting a regular monster. I don't know. It's still a combat. I mean, she loses. What she loses? If she loses a health, just like if she was fighting something. And I think it's not a combat. It's a strength test. So we're going to roll 4 dice, and let's hope she gets it. Keep in mind, she does get a reroll. She got the lucky ring. She did not need it. She passed. So she gains a random ally from the deck. Let's see what we can get out of that. Here's the deck. So I'm going to turn them over. Oh, an Elder Sign would have been next. Bummer. Police assistant. I think that's a service. Police assistants. Appeal to the council. I'm going through the cards. Pocket watch. We got to run into. For the first ally we run into. Sanctuary. We had a lot of allies come out. I wonder how many there are. Oh, good. We're going to have to reshuffle these at last. There's kerosene. That's a good one. Agency quarantine. Got nothing yet, guys. I wonder if they're all out already. Private investigator. Okay, that's going to be the one that she gets. So what does this say here? She picked up a private investigator. Somebody she saved. It says gain 1 observation. That's good. You may reroll 1 observation die. That's better. That's not bad at all for her. In fact, it helped complement her skill set. So that was going to be her encounter. And then last but not least, we have Charlie Kane in Shanghai to do. Okay, here's Charlie Kane. He's going to draw a encounter in Shanghai, which comes from the purple deck of city cards right here, a purple deck of cards. Let's draw that and see what he gets. Okay, Shanghai, the top card here. It says, the decadent crime lord Lin Tang Yu offers you access to his library of occult treasures in exchange for information. You may spend one clue. Does he have a clue? He doesn't have a clue! To improve his lore. Oh, that would have been so nice, but he, again, burned by not having a clue on him. So that was his encounter. He went and looked in the library, but he couldn't find anything, and that's the end of that. What an eventless round. Now we got to go on to our probably not eventless Mythos phase. Okay, guys, so here's our Mythos card for this turn. We are going to have a Comet effect, which, let's see, is going to drop our Omen track by 1. We do have, Omen track. We're going to move the Omen track. We're going to resolve the effects of the Comet, and we're going to populate a gate. And then we're going to see what happens next. So let's start with that. Guys, we got to figure out how to push this gate back. This dials up to here, and this goes down one more to 2. We got to figure out how to get that back up a little bit, or we got to kill that dragon as quickly as possible. I mean, maybe we should just go gangbusters and send both Charlie and our lady. Yeah, she can't move that far, but Charlie can give her an well. Yeah, well, we'll see. Anyway, we'll see what we can do there. I don't think they can get there in 1 turn, but maybe in 2. So that's going to be that. And then the next thing the next thing we have to do is resolve the Comet effects. So we're going to start right over here. We're going to take another one off the white ship. It's going to be bad if it actually goes away. Hopefully we can get Trish there soon enough. I think we can. And then we're going to come over to monsters. Well, we got the Serpent. The Serpent doesn't have anything. So really all we got are all the beasties on in Sydney. Cause that's and the Gug that's on Buenos Aires doesn't do anything. But oops, sorry about that, folks. Camera slipped. Okay, what we do have here is yeah, just the zombie horde on that space, which is a 1 or 2 die roll. We lose one more on the track, so I hope that doesn't happen. Okay, guys. Well, you guys told me a while back, or a couple of you did, that I'd probably pay for this zombie horde, and this could be the moment. We're at a 2 on the Doom track right now. Let's see what we roll. Okay, we roll a 5, so we did not have the Doom track go down as a result of the zombie horde. Now, let's see. We don't have any cultists on the board right now, so we're okay there. Now we just need to move to the effects of the individual people. And I'll get their cards up and we'll see what we got. Okay, we'll just start with Charlie Kane. He was the one that is easiest in reach. Look to see if he has anything that... No, he does not. So he has nothing that is impacted by the... by the Comet, but this does. We have her Blessed effect and her Dark Pact. I think that's it. And this stupid artifact. God, I hate this artifact. This thing here. Look, when we have a discard effect, we discard an ally. It's not optional. So now her important Vatican missionary goes as well. Okay, well, it is what it is. So he's gone. So we'll just take care of that effect right now. He is gone from her group of people because of that terrible artifact, but it's still then now, as an action, she can do something stupid. Or she can do a test to gain an ally, but then she might lose the ally. It's like she's mind controlling them or something. I don't know. Okay, anyway, we do have to roll for her Blessed and her Dark Pact. Okay, so let's roll for her Blessed. 1 or 2, she loses it. She just got it, so okay, she rolled a 5. So she did not lose her blessing. That's good. Now for her Dark Pact, if she rolls a 1, we're in trouble. A 5. Nope, man, that Dark Pact, she's been carrying that heavy weight on her the whole game, and it has not come up. Or virtually the whole game. Okay, Trish, the only one she's got is this Conspiracy Theorist. Yeah. And he basically does a good thing. So on a roll of 4, 5, or 6, we gain a clue. So let's see. This Theorist rolled, can't see it, but I rolled a 6. So she has 8 clues, man. I don't know what we're going to do with her on the clue section. She's got to go around and do some clue type stuff, right? But anyway, that is... And now I got Lily Chen. I don't think that she has anything. For Research Enchanted Blade, Pallid Mask. Nope, she has nothing that's going to affect her. For the Comet, now we got to put out a gate. Okay, here's our gate. It's going to appear in Shanghai with Charlie. Charlie's going, Man, I can't get away from the monsters. Help me. Okay. Let's see what kind of monster appears. A Bayeki. What's it do? It does have an effect. It says if you defeat this monster during a combat encounter, you may lose 1 sanity and move 3 spaces instead of resolving another encounter. Well, that's kind of interesting. So it actually has a possibly helpful thing on it if you defeat it. Okay, that is going to end that. So now we just have to do the flavor of the card, what the story is on the card, and the event that goes with it. So let's start. Yeah, right there. Okay. Ever since you arrived here, you felt the call of the other world. An entire land of wonders awaits you just past that threshold if you find yourself unable to resist the temptation any longer. Oh, and you find yourself unable to resist. Okay, event. Each investigator on a space containing a gate. Are you kidding? We just put that gate down with Charlie. Will -2. If he fails, he gains lost in time space condition. Or lost in time and space condition. So he has got a whopping will of 2. I don't think he has any items that can help him, and it's a -1. Tell you, my luck sometimes with this stuff is just unbelievably not good. He's got the Arcane Scholar. It doesn't help him. Yeah, nothing helps him with will. So he's going to have to roll 1 die, and we're going to have to hope and see that he gets lucky. He needs a 5 or a 6. A 5! He passed! Oh my god, thankfully. Oh, wait, guys. This is a -2. Not a -1. He can't succeed at this. Let me rethink that. Just a moment. Okay, it's a minimum of 1 die. I checked in the rules, so he did pass this. Thank God. That would have been awful if he just couldn't pass it at all. I think I messed up on that once before and had somebody automatically fail. I don't remember. It wouldn't have been that relevant anyway. But that's going to end our Mythos phase and end our turn. Let's see, we might continue and do another great big giant episode, but let me think about that and I'll be right back, or I'll see you next time. So thanks and talk to you soon. Alright, hey everybody, it's part 2 of our playthrough, doing another large episode so we can cut down on the amount of episodes that we have of our Eldritch Horror playthrough. So let's keep on going. We're going to start with our action phase. Now, our lead investigator I'm sticking with the same plan. So our lead investigator is going to move. I could be strategic about it too and give it to somebody and have that up as a plan, because, like, for instance, I really want to be able to move Trish where I want to. We do have to take out a gate, but the gate it just marked as passed, I could literally have her start fighting off and fending off the big dragon. I got tons of rerolls and good items to fight with. Yeah, so you know what I might do is I think I got to play this a little strategically, because our track's down to 2. So if we want to win, got to be a little smarter about this. So perhaps what we're really going to do is start with, Charlie's got a gate, but he could move out of there, or you could take on the Bayeki. The Bayeki's not that tough. Charlie's with a Bayeki. It's not that bad. He's got weapons, and he's only 1 point off of being healthy. His sanity's at a 5, which is of 8, which is a little low, but I still think he can do it. And then, yeah, we can send our girl Friday, Diana Stanley, there as well. So why don't we do that? Why don't we start with Diana Stanley? She's going to be our lead investigator for the round. Let's start to look at her actions, her action turn. She's got so many cards now, it's hard to keep them all in camera. Anyway, the first thing we're going to start off with is she's going to cast a spell. Now, let me see, let's look at, she's got a 3. I was looking at the sanity under our main fighter, and, well, she could take 2 sanity damage from the dragon. It's a will -1. She's okay there. I mean, she's only got 1. Diana Stanley's actually almost better suited to fight the dragon. From a will standpoint, she's not likely to take damage, but she's also not very healthy. She's got to get to a city. Well, she could rest anywhere, I guess. But the first thing we're going to do for her is, yeah, we're going to use her spell of Plumb the Void as an action. So we have to test her lore -1. This is a spell, so she gets to add her arcane manuscript to it, and she's also blessed, so that's a good thing. But we can do this. So she's going to use the Plumb the Void spell, and we're going to get Trish back into action as quickly as we can to try and win the game. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So anyway, we got to test our lore, and if we pass, we get to move. We get to move an investigator to any space. So let's do that. It's lore -1. So normally she does have 5 dice to do this with, but she's only going to have 4 because well, for her will actually. Sorry, lore test. She's only going to have 4, so she gets 1 for her arcane manuscript, gives +1, and really that's about it. So then she's going to get a -1 for the spell against the test against the spell, but she's blessed, so she only needs a 4, 5, or 6. Let's roll. Okay. So she got 2 successes there. Let's pop that over and see what it says. 1 to 2. The ritual requires an exhausting amount of concentration. Lose 1 sanity. Okay, so she's back it down to 2, which means that we're definitely going to have to rest her up. Yeah, so she's down to 2. I think what we're going to do then, she'll have to encounter the wilderness space again. But yeah, she succeeded at that. So first off, we got to move Trish. She's moving Trish with that spell. Do I plop Trish down right on the dragon and take a round out of the dragon? We got all those rerolls for her. Yep, I think we're going to give it a shot. Start trying to fight the dragon. So she is plopped down in Tokyo, where the Serpent is of Yig, and we're going to see if we can take that Serpent down. And then for her second action, she's going to rest. So that's going to get her back a sanity in it, putting her back up to 3, and then also putting her health back up to 3. So we can't complain there. That was a good turn for her, even though it wasn't very active. And then she's going to, of course, stay in the Himalayas, where she's been working her powerful magics. Now, and she's got that awful artifact. Anyway, the next one up then will be Trish. So let's go to her action phase. She is in Tokyo with the dragon. You know what we could have done is move her 1 space away to a city so she can try and do an asset check. Let's do that instead. So I'm going to go to the table and show you what we did. Okay, so we want her to end up here, but we could have like popped her right there, and then just and then took a, because then we can take a asset action and then move her into Tokyo instead. I think that's a better way to go. So she's got a it doesn't hurt her to try, right? She's got a action. She has a influence of 4, and so we're going to roll 4 dice for her. She's not blessed or anything. She doesn't have any rerolls, but she does get to. Well, she could use her clues to reroll, but I don't know if we'll need to. We'll see if we can get something. So let's go to the dice bowl and roll. Okay, let's roll 4. Okay, she got 1 success out of that. So let's go to. She might take a debt condition because that could get her something really good. Also, let me check on her rerolls. We can always use a clue, right? But it says if an investigator on your space spends a clue to reroll a die. So we're going to spend a clue, which gets discarded, not back in the pool, to reroll 2 dice because that's her special ability. And she got 2. Now we got something to work with here, and I'll show you what that is. Now, she could just pick up a card that's 2 points, like one of these, or we can take a bank loan for her and pick up this urban guide. This says if you're in a city space, investigators on your space roll 1 additional die when resolving tests, except for when resolving other worldly encounters. That's pretty good. Or she could get both the bodyguard, which reduces the damage of monsters you encounter by 1 to a minimum of 1, which would help against the serpent, and the lucky cigarette case, both, which would allow her once per round to add 1 to die results. That seems to me like it might be better than the urban guide for her right now, because combat, these 2 will help her in the combats, and that's what she's got to worry about, not just checking the space or encountering the space. But anyway, she will have to take a bank loan, so we're going to have to flip through here, and okay, I ran into 2 debt conditions. There's one. We're going to give her a debt condition, but she's also going to then take the bodyguard and the lucky cigarette case, And then we're going to take up the pocket watch and one more item and another item. Private care. Oh man, you immediately recover all health and sanity. You know what? If we can clear out that gate where Charlie is, we can. He can buy that in a city, or he can move to a city and buy that and give it to Diana Stanley. If she takes damage, she pops right back. Or not Diana Stanley. Well, maybe even Diana. We'll see. We'll see. But that's going to be Trisha. No, Trish. The second part of Trish's action phase is going to be to move to Tokyo. So we're going to move her up here to Tokyo, and that's going to be her action phase. I think she's set up to do some pretty good stuff. So another character that's not bad in combat is Lily Chen. She's got the lucky ring and the blade. The enchanted blade is good. It does +3 and gives her a will bonus in combat. So you know what we're going to do with her is she's got a boat ticket already. She's healthy. She's got she's got 1 wound on her, but her sanity's up to full. She can bypass monsters with the pallid mask. It says, during the encounter phase, you may choose an encounter as if there were no monsters there. So she can come over here and close this gate in Sydney. That would be pretty good. Or maybe she can even take on... Now, I told you guys I'm not playing with that rule that you have to take on the normal monsters first. You can take them on in any order. And the blade is not something she can only use once per round. She can use it anytime she wants. So she could go literally kill all of these guys. And then go after the 5-point zombie horde, and then go after the gate. It could be like a mega round for her. She doesn't gain anything for that except for killing all these things. But I think it's a choice. During the encounter phase, you may choose an encounter as if there's no monster. So I could choose to encounter that, but then I'd bypass the monsters. Anyway, I think that's a good move for her. So we're going to... First, she's in a city. So what do we do for her first action? I think she'll pick up... Well, she can't pick up 2 boat tickets. Yeah. What else is she gonna do other than move? Yeah, okay. She's only gonna get 1 action, but that's okay. Wait, her action, her spell, she can flip-flop sanity and health. So she's going to spend a boat ticket, and she's going to move 1 to 2. Let me go up to the board now so you can see where she's moving. Since she doesn't have any clues, she's going to pass through here and go straight over to Sydney. Then she can get a clue. Maybe get 2 and go back. I don't know. We're going to have to work that out. Maybe the gate will give her a clue. So, but that's going to be her action. She ends up in Sydney there. She's going to do something. Either take on the monsters. We really would. It'd be really helpful to get rid of the zombie horde. But she'd have to kill all the monsters on that space to get to the gate without using her pallid mask. And we kind of need to get that gate gone too. So now now we're going to Charlie. He really does need to get to burn to continue to buy assets. Shanghai has a gate. The gate token on that, the gate symbol is going to come out. Man, he's got to stay there. So we're going to have to take care of the gates because that's the symbol that's going to come up next turn. So he's going to have to stay there and encounter the gates, which means there's. Let me see if there's anything on his items that he can do. Feed the mind. He can do that. A ritual spell. He's not good at it. He's going to have to do a lore test -1. He's going to get to roll 1 die. I hope that doesn't devastate him. He's not really high on sanity. But let's do that and see if we can bump up one of his stats. Okay, well, Charlie, it's a -1, so he's only going to get 1 die to do this with. But you never know. We might get lucky, so let's roll and see what happens. 2. So he failed at that, so he's just going to be there. He didn't get anything out of that. Oh, wait, he failed, so he still gets to do it. It says if the player choose an investigator your space and improve skill choice and flip this card. So we're going to improve his strength. And then it says 0. The gateway in the mind is a 2-way portal and your memories begin to scatter. Discard this card unless you gain an amnesia condition. So I can gain a point in his strength, which I committed to doing, and then gain an amnesia condition from the Feed the Mind spell, which is, here's the card right here. See, we got a 0. So we can do that. Or we can keep this card and take an amnesia condition. I think we're going to keep the card and take an amnesia condition. What the heck? Let's give it a try. Okay, here's the big deck of stuff. See if we can find an amnesia condition. Paranoia, detained, amnesia. Here we go. Okay, it says when you perform a rest action, you may roll one die to try and get rid of this. If we roll a comet, we got a test to flip it over. So hopefully we'll get a rest action soon and be able to do that, but he's got to go through the gate this turn. But he's doing it with a +1 strength because he has to fight the monster first. So +1 strength plus his 45, so that makes him pretty formidable. Okay, let's go on. This is going to move on then to our encounter phase. Okay, Diana Stanley, she is still in the Himalayas where she needs to leave soon and help out, but we wanted to get her a little healthier and move Trish somewhere where she can be more effective. So we're going to draw a card, and it's going to be in... Oh wait, wrong deck, sorry. Oops, it's Himalayas. It's the generic deck. So we draw a card there. And a generic wilderness encounter. It says, far from any road or village you find a shallow grave, marked only with an arcane symbol. As you dig, a growing dread weakens your resolve. Test will. If you pass, you find a charred corpse clutching a journal. Gain 1 clue or improve lore. Oh, she can improve her lore and gain a clue, which would give her 2 clues. She could go after the ghost ship. Okay. If you fail, you run from the area and gain a curse condition. So first thing we have to do is make a will check. You know, we don't have anything anymore that just enhances her will. That's unfortunate. But we do have the... she is blessed, so let's roll her die and see what happens here. A 4, so she succeeded. Okay, so she succeeded the will test. She gets to find a charred... If I improve her... That's such a hard choice because we need clues to take out the ghost ship before the bad thing happens with that, and it's bad. And there's only 1 token left on it. Next time we have a reckoning effect or history. She's got 1 clue now. That would give her 2 clues. She could go after it. She could use her own spell to get there. We're going to do that. Unfortunately, she's going to have to sacrifice. So we're going to take a clue for her, and that's going to end her encounter phase. Very good encounter phase for her, though, because she got something out of it that was useful to us. And then next turn, we will take her to... We'll have her use her own spell as an action to get all the way to the ghost ship space, if it's still there and we don't get horribly unlucky. Okay, now we have Trish. Trish is in good shape for a fight. So she's going to take on the dragon. She can use her carbine rifle, obviously. That gives her a +5, +3 for her strength. So that's, yeah, 8. And then she can use the bodyguard. No, she can't use the bodyguard, because that gives the same thing. But she does reduce her damage from the bodyguard. That's very good. What does her spell do? It's an incantation. It says once per round, when an investigator would lose sanity, you may test if you pass prevent the sanity loss. Okay, that's could be helpful. We might need to do that. Even though she's only got a lore of 1. She's also got the bullwhip, which will give her a reroll, and the lucky cigarette case, which lets her add 1 to a dice. Plus she's got tons of clues. So let's go fight this thing and see what we can do. Okay, here is this bad boy. It's basically got a total toughness of 6. Let's see, it's got a -1 will, so she's going to be at a 1. But it is combat, so I think she's going to get a little bump there from something. But anyway, she also got that spell. So, and rerolls. So let's see what she's got. It's a 2 will, so she's only going to be able to prevent 1 unless I have something that gives her additional will. I do not. So she's only going to be able to roll 1 die. She could lose 2 sanity on this one, then we'll have to try and use that spell. So let's roll and see if she loses 1 or 2. Okay, here we go. 6. So she lost 1 sanity. I don't know if we want to try the spell or not, because we're going to have to flip the card, but it doesn't say... It just says you may test. Okay, let's take a chance on this and see if we can prevent her from losing any sanity. Why not, right? Again, it's just 1 die, but let's see if we can get it. 5, she succeeded. Okay, so we flipped that over. She got 1. You increase... your incantation inspires courage in the face of madness, but at the cost of blood. Lose 1 health and then flip this card. Well, I don't like that much. But she lost no sanity. She was really healthy, so that just puts her down 1 point. And again, if she gets attacked by a monster, she can prevent a point of damage. So we lost no sanity from fighting the dragon. Now we have to fight it. So we're going to have... okay, so let's start with our strength. Our strength There's going to be 3 dice. And then we got another, I don't even have enough dice to roll. Let me go get some more 6-sided dice. Okay, that's 3 for that. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for that. She loses 2 for the dragon. So that's going to put her 2, 4, 6. Man, if we kill this, we could kill the thing in one shot and win the game. Wouldn't that be something? She's got a lot of rerolls and stuff too. So she unloads her carbine rifle. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna roll the dice. Okay, here we go. Okay, so far she has got 3 hits. We are going to first use her cigarette lighter to increase this to 5. That's 4 hits. Now all we've got is 2 dice to worry about. She's going to get a reroll from her whip first. No. Okay. We're going to spend a clue token. And I'll spend all the clues if I have to. Remember, her ability is she gets to reroll 2 dice if an investigator, including herself, is in her space. Okay, no. Darn it. Okay, second clue. Let's keep going. I'm going to kill this thing and win. Oh, boom! There we go. So, 2, 4, 6. We killed it. It would have done us 4 damage, but did no damage. And we overcame its toughness of 6. We have officially killed the winged serpent and defeated the last mystery of Yig. And it only cost her 2 of her many clues to do. But game's not over yet. We have 1 more mythos phase to complete before that is done. And then we'll see what happens at the end of the game. We still have 2 gates. If we don't close at least one of those gates and have no other effect that lowers the omen track, actually we need to close both those gates. So hopefully we get lucky because Charlie's still got to go. Now we got to go to Lily Chen, who has a pretty good chance. I think she's going to bypass the monsters and close the gate. As is the case with many of my flawed playthroughs, we were down to the wire. We could win this turn, or we could lose this turn completely. Anyway, I debated this. She can try and kill the zombie horde, which has a chance of lowering the doom track, or try and close the gate, which will lower the doom track if there's the omen track moves. So either way, it's a if or, but I think we're going to use the Pallid Mask, and we're immediately going to go into the gate. So let's see what happens. The Pallid Mask allows us to bypass all the monsters on the space and go and encounter and have an encounter. So we're going to encounter the gate. Okay, here's our cards, guys. Let's hope we have a little luck here. Okay, here's what the gate is. We're in the city of the great race. It says, you find others who, like you, have had their consciousness pulled into the alien bodies from throughout time. You try to convince them to share their knowledge. Influence test. Well, that's not terrible. And we get a reroll if we need it still. So we have basically a 2. That's what we got, a 2. So let's go see if we can do that. Okay, guys. So we need 1 success, and we have a 2. And we have a reroll. So let's see if we can get it. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, she succeeded at her influence test, so they do share their knowledge. Their stories are highly illuminating. Gain 2 clues. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, not going to help us that much right now. They remind you of a ritual you researched that may provide you with a solution. Make a lore check -1. That's a whopping 1 for us. If you pass, close this gate. If you fail, your attempts only meet with failure, lose 1 sanity. So we're going to do that. Let me check and see if she's got anything else that can help her. I don't believe so, but we're going to check. Well, she does have things that can help her. She's got 2 clues now, and the lucky ring. Give her a reroll. So let's roll 1 dice, because this is lore -1. See what she gets. Off the table. Got to reroll that. Let's see. A 1. That's not going to help, so we definitely need to reroll. We're going to use first her lucky ring. Come on. There we go. 5. We did it. Okay. If you pass, close this gate. Boom. Gate's closed. She is still on the space. When we still end up with a clue to 2 clues, so that is awesome. I mean, if for some reason we didn't kill that serpent, we wouldn't have been able to go back and take the ghost ship down and resolve it. It's too bad we can't do that now, because I'm still worried about that resolving at the end of the turn and losing our game. But we did pass, so let's continue on. That is going to end Lily Chen. Now we got to go to Charlie King. A lot is riding on good old Charlie, but he's got stuff. Okay, so we did increase his strength, remember? Now he's got to face first this Bayaki. The Bayaki's not too bad. It's just he's got to make a will check. Doesn't have any bonuses against that, but he'll survive it. It's just 1 damage at most. And then he's got to fight it. It's got 2 health, so he's going to have to do enough damage. Let's go to the dice bowl and see what we can do here. Now he's got some things. So he's got his 45s. That's going to give him +3 in combat. He's got a strength now of 3, so that's 6 dice. That's pretty good. And then he's also got a reroll through his, which one is it? His syndicate agent. It says you may reroll 1 die resolving a combat test during combat encounters. So we're pretty good off this way. Let's go see what we can do. Now remember, this is only the first part. He's got to also get the gate closed. But let's start with, we're going to do this. He's got to kill this thing. So the first thing he has to do is see if he survives the horror check, which he will. And he actually lost a horror. He didn't gain that at all. So there's 1 sanity down for him. And now we got to go on to the combat check. I'm certainly not going to be able to re-roll anything there, but we do have our 45s. So the 45s are going to be 3 dice. His strength is going to be another 3 dice, and he has a re-roll, just 1. So let's see what we can do here. You know, I forgot when we tried that feed the mind spell. I forgot that he gains +1 lore and may re-roll when resolving. We could have not lost a sanity point or whatever, or getting that amnesia condition. But it's too late now. Let's do this and see what happens. Okay, here we go. Okay, he's not blessed. He does do 2 points of damage. That is enough to kill it. Takes 2 and avoids the damage. So he doesn't have to re-roll. We do kill the Bayaki. That's awesome. Goes back in the cup. And now we have to go and resolve a Otherworld card. So if he manages this, he will close the gate, and that will pretty much lock down a win for us. But here's his card. Let's see what it says. It's another City of the Great Race. They were together there. Okay, well, on a high stone shelf, you find books containing the wisdom of both the distant past and the far-flung future. Unfortunately, the tomes were written using a series of strange, curvilinear symbols. You do your best to translate them, the alien language, lore -1. So now we're going to get to gain our +1 from our arcane scholar is going to help us. So we're going to actually have he has a lore of 2 +1, so he's going to have 2 dice. So let's see what happens here. But okay, guys, so here we go. This is our Mythos card. Let's draw it and see what we get. I'm scared. Okay, we had a reckoning effect. Awesome that we close. I mean, a omen effect. So it's awesome that we close those 2 gates, but we do not have any reckoning effects, and that is going to win us the game unless the event itself does something terrible. But let's go to the omen track. Okay, so the omen track moves to here. Now, originally we had, we had the gate in Sydney and the gate in Shanghai both had that symbol. It would have moved our track to 0, but we did not have to encounter those because those gates are gone. So let's look at the next part. We're going to have a monster surge. Okay, but we don't have any gates matching the symbol for the monster surge either, so we put out 2 clues. We're going to put out 1 in space 18, but I'm just doing it as a formality. This really doesn't matter at this point. And then 1 in San Francisco. A clue in San Francisco. Finally, now we're going to read the event. This is the last event of the game, I believe. You have been surrounded by corruption so long that it has permeated everything you touch. Somehow all of your food supplies have grown rancid overnight. Each investigator loses 3 health unless he gains a poisoned condition. Well, all of them but Diana Stanley can afford to lose 3 health. Even good old, nope, and it's Charlie. Diana and Charlie are going to take poison conditions, but it's not going to matter. So they took poison conditions, and that ends the round of the Mythos phase. So now let's pick up Yig's card and see what happens when we complete our final mystery. So we completed this mystery. At the end of the Mythos phase, if the winged serpent epic monster has been defeated, you solve this mystery. That has taken place. So now we go to this card and we flip it. Boom! The final mystery. The serpent people have regained their favor of Yig and now call upon him to rid their kingdom of the wretched humans. that infest it. When 3 mysteries have been solved, you have discovered Yig's hiding place. Uh-oh. In Central America. Each cultist monster on the game board, to move each cultist there's none, on the game board to space 7 and spawn the Yig monster. We're not done yet, guys, and that is bad because now we're in some serious hot water with health. Ah, man, well. Okay, when the Yig epic monster is defeated, the final mystery is solved, the investigators win. Okay. Should have known that better than that. I think only one of them actually doesn't do it. You just win. But let's look at how bad Yig is. Not Yeb, Yig. There's Yig. Okay. Yig. Toughness equal to investigators plus 3, so that is 5, 6, 7, 8. He's at 8. Oh, sorry, 4, 7. And if you lose sanity from the will test, gain a curse condition. That's bad. He does a lot of damage, and he's in Central America. Oh, how disheartening. So, we start off in the what space? Let's just look at this and be sure. We start off in the flip. Okay, when Yig awakens, flip this sheet. Okay. Yep. Well, here we are. He didn't awaken, but we just have to beat him. Final mystery. So he's going to appear in Central America. What does that mean? Is that in the Amazon? There's no like Central America space, is there? I don't think so. I guess this was Mexico, a Central America space. I don't know. Let me think about this. So there's no actual space that says Central America, so I have to assume that's right here. It's the only Central American space there is on space 7. Now there were no cultists on the board, so we're lucky in that regards, and it won't take us a ton to get there. But remember that Charlie and Diana have poison conditions now, so we are going to end there. That is good. Now we're going to go into our final round or two next turn. Man, I thought I should have known better. We were not done. Okay, and we'll see if we can win. We did postpone the terrible fact that we could have lost the game already, but I don't know if that's going to mean much to us if we have to keep going. So I'm just getting out the poison conditions for them. As you can see, I'm just kind of rifling through these cards because I got to find 2. There's one for Charlie and one for Diana, and we're going to go put them on their cards, and that is going to end our session for tonight. So thanks so much, and talk to you soon.